So here he comes then, the world light heavyweight champion, Branko Cikatic from Yugoslavia. One mean-looking man.
He's known as the Stone because he has little expression on his face and seems to be able to take any kind of punishment. Now training at Tom Herrick's Cikatic gym. And he really is awesome. He doesn't look so big with that robe on, but as soon as he takes it off, look at that physique, my goodness. Hoost knows he's got a hell of a challenge. He's got to establish himself early. As I was speaking to his trainer, Johan Voss, earlier today, he was saying that the first 3 rounds will tell the tale.
Not much difference in height between them.
Not much, but I think in density, certainly Cikatic has got the tail of the tape. I mean, that guy is broad. He made the weight very easily, but he's always looks like a rock. Hence his fight name of the Stone.
So we got Cikatic in the blue trunks and Ernesto Hoost in the red.
That's right. And I'm very interested to see how this fight turns out. There was no Ram Moy. They were straight into it. And I think both men are very experienced fighters. They're going to feel each other out in the early parts of round 1. Immediately they're in the clinches. Hoost bringing in the knee. Cikatic punching in close range. Bringing in that long looping right hand of his. If that connects, that's over. That's the evening finished. Very strong right hand. Branko, a good technician, but his main attribute, sheer strength. He's got all the Yugoslavian attributes. Bullheadedness and sheer power. Already he's pushed Hoost down. A slip, so there's no standing 8 count. Hoost is coming back, but I think he would have to be superhuman not to be a little bit intimidated by the reputation of this incredible Yugoslav.
So let's just go through his record again.
Well, Cikatic has now had 31 fights, so which he's had 30 wins, 1 loss, which was a controversial one to Don Wilson, the American fighter, and no draws. The night that he lost to Wilson, he really wasn't himself. I mean, he might as well have mailed his fight in from Yugoslavia. He was that far off the mark. When he's on form, he's unbeatable. And I think Hoost must be really aware of that tonight.
Are there a lot of Muay Thai boxers from the Eastern Bloc?
It's very popular. I mean, it hasn't got the numbers that you find in the West, I think for obvious reasons, because it's harder to promote events and to promote clubs under that regime. But those fighters they have got are like Cikatic. They've come from nothing and they're hard men. And there are few harder men in any sport, any combat art, than Branko Cikatic.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much glasnost about him tonight.
No glasnost at all. This is going to be, this isn't even going to be the Cold War. This is going to be World War III. It's been very tame so far. I think that Cikatic is feeling out Hoost, and probably the same is true from the other direction. They're both seeing what the other man has got. And as Johan Voss said earlier, it's going to be in the 2nd and 3rd that we really see things heat up.
Starting off with a lot of punching.
Yeah.
Cikatic throwing a left hook around.
Cikatic is bombing. He's bringing in those swinging punches of his. As I mentioned before, if he connects with that, that's going to be it. But at the moment, Hoost has managed to stay out of trouble. Now he's holding and punching with the other hand. Hoost spinning to try to get out of danger, and then back into grappling range. And look at Cikatic punching to the back of the head.
What would you think whose best tactics might be tonight?
I think that he needs to, first he has to stay out of the way for the first couple of rounds until he feels more confident. I think anybody getting in the ring with Cikatic is aware of the man's reputation. And I think, as was said earlier, if he gets to the 3rd and 4th to try to pick off points, a knockout I think is beyond the capabilities of Hoost. I think beyond the capabilities of any currently active kickboxer in this weight category. Look at Hoost there. He knows he's got a job to do. No man steps in the ring with Branko Cikatic and doesn't know what he's up against.
Hoost is looking very pensive for the
Very
moment.
pensive, yes.
Maybe he's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, or down his trunks. And he's
well, we know he's got something down his trunks.
Just fired out a nice high kick. Oh, look at him repeating off the jab there. Nice jabs, but they didn't quite find the mark. And you've got to hit Cikatic hard to make any kind of impact. It's no good flicking at him. The man is solid. He's fought at all kind of weights. Hoost really mixing it up then. What a brave man. I mean, he was bringing the fight to Cikatic. combination of punches, but still he's not landing anything heavy, and you've got to really sock it to this man. Applying the classic counter to a low tie kick there with his own shin. The crowd are getting behind their man, and I'm sure Hoost is gaining confidence from that. And Branko not firing on all jets yet. I think he's been a slow starter for this fight. Oh, now left there. Famous last words from me. A left rocked Hoost. More of a slip, so there's no standing 8 count. Again, they're exchanging low kicks. But this seems to me to be more of a puncher's fight than a kicker's one. The kicks they're firing are not particularly powerful, but some of the punching has been very sharp. Once more in the clinches, and Cikatic punching the back of his opponent's head. Not strictly allowed, but the ref obviously turning a blind eye. Hoost forward again. Oh, look at that round kick, up and over the ropes. And no expression on Cikatic's face.
Yeah, there doesn't really seem to be too much kicking at the moment. Do you think somebody might seize the initiative if they start giving a few low kicks?
Certainly, Cikatic has landed some solid kicks in previous fights I've seen him in, and I think as yet he's still getting into the fight. He hasn't hit his mark as yet. Meanwhile, Hoost is being buoyed up by the crowd, who are 100% behind him. Nice kick, but not particularly powerful. He's following it up with punches. He landed a nice shot there, flush on the chin, and that probably would have stopped or hurt a lesser fighter, but with Cikatic he can absorb a lot of punishment. Oh, and a nice left, another left. Now he's coming back. As soon as you start to put Branko in any kind of danger, he comes back at you. Hoost fighting back bravely. They're over in a neutral corner, the crowd on their feet. They're in grappling and the referee separating them. And I'm really impressed by Hoost's courage here. He's not taking anything. He keeps coming back at the man, and the crowd are behind him 100%. Oh, and a left hand there. And he's been given a mandatory 8 count. That was a knockdown. The crowd don't like it. They think it was a slip. Look at Cikatic glowering in his corner. He doesn't care. That was a nice sharp left. End of the second.
Who's very unhappy about that standing 8? He was straight back up after all.
He was indeed. I think that it's a judgment call on the part of the referee. What happened was there was a very nice short sharp left from Cikatic, and it hit and caused the slippage. But the audience don't like it because that is points against their man. He took an 8 count. If it had been a slip, no points would be deducted, but he took an 8 count, so points would be deducted. If it's even at the end of the fight, he's going to lose just on that.
So here we go then for round 3. Now Cikatic was having a bit of attention paid to one of his eyes there, babe.
Yeah, he's got a slight swelling around the left eye. I think there might have been an accidental clash of heads as opposed to a punch. I haven't seen any solid headshots from Hoost to Cikatic, but mind you, he was firing some very fast punches and he might just have caught him.
Who's out of the game at the moment, would you say then?
I would say that due to the 8 count taken by Hoost in the last round, then Cikatic will now be ahead. But having said that, Hoost is putting together some very good punching combinations. The crowd are loving it. Oh, and there, a slip. He was down. Cikatic followed up with a kick, and the crowd, I don't like this at all. Look at them at ringside. Cikatic challenging the crowd to fight, it seems. Stuff being thrown into the ring, and it's getting a bit out of control here. And the crowd on their feet, and the more volatile members of the crowd are actually stepping forward and throwing things at the ring. And members of the Cikatic camp are actually bringing order. People being told to sit down. And they're back at it again.
Oh, this is really going to go off now.
This is really going to be hot stuff. This is fireworks in there. Hoost with the left jab. Low kick. Now Branko coming forward. Now Branko is mad now. He doesn't like that kind of treatment from any crowd, and he's going to take it out on Hoost. The crowd accused him of kicking the man when he was down. I think it was an accident. Branko certainly seems more businesslike now than he was before.
I don't know about an accident. If it was football, I think we call that a late tackle.
Yes, a professional foul perhaps. Still, in the heat of the fray, it's very difficult to tell which is which. And sharp jabbing from Hoost, but he's being pushed back into a neutral corner.
Still surprisingly, very much a boxing match.
Very much, yes. Not much kicking at all. They're very evenly matched as punchers, and they're relying on punching as opposed to leg techniques. Oh, look at that swinging punch from Branko as he charges in. He keeps pressing forward, and he'll be getting points for that. The judges will award points to him for constantly being on the attack and forcing Hoost backwards. They like to see a man moving forward. And I think Cikatic is really looking for that big shot now. He's walking forward, very intent, and he's looking for that big shot that's going to put Hoost out of the fight. There he is, forcing the man back. And Hoost is doing a good job. Oh, a nice right hand to the chin of Cikatic. The crowd back on their feet. And now it's Hoost pushing forward. And he's got Cikatic in the corner. And he's piling in the combinations. Cikatic covering. Goodness me, what an upset. And now Cikatic receiving a standing 8 count. And the crowd are crazy. They're jumping around. They're shouting. They're screaming. What a remarkable turn of events.
And scenes around us.
Extraordinary pandemonium at ringside. The crowd is on their feet, they're chanting. They're really seeing what they didn't expect to see. Hoost had his man on the ropes, and this may be a rerun of the Wilson fight, where towards the middle part of the encounter, Cikatic ran out of steam and suffered at the hands of Wilson, and that fight was stopped in the 7th round.
Okay, so here we go for round 4. It's the 4th of 5 rounds, lasting 3 minutes each. Now Hoost has really got a good chance here, I think.
He certainly has. I mean, he took a knockdown earlier, took a standing 8. Now he's given Cikatic a standing 8. Oh, look at those combinations! My goodness, what punching! And it's sharper than most boxing matches that you see. And again, Cikatic punching after time, and he's caught Hoost down. Again, bottles being thrown at the ring, and the crowd on their feet. To one side, Ivan the Terrible, and yes, I think a right eye closure on the part of Hoost from that punch after the fight was stopped.
Missiles still coming in.
Yes.
Cikatic had his first warning. And now the crowd getting a warning of
the crowd are really getting on their feet, and a very ugly move at ringside. There's Ivan the Terrible, and we can hear them shouting. And look at Cikatic, he's inviting them in the ring. He doesn't care. My God, I've never seen anything like this in the last Rocky movie.
That's Ivan Hippolyte, who was fighting earlier. He's having a little altercation with.
Ivan looks like he might want to get in the ring again, and maybe he'll put on a better show now than later. Look at these, look at the audience. They really are out for blood. And this is ugly scenes here at ringside. And the fight awarded to Hoost. Branko has been disqualified. And the winner by default, Ernesto Hoost. What an upset. And I would never in a million years have predicted this. And the crowd on their feet.
Perhaps more to placate the crowd than anything else.
I think so. I mean, I think if he'd had any kind of other decision, we would have had a riot on our hands. We're sitting here at ringside, and I didn't feel at all safe in the last few moments. They were really out for blood, and I don't think they cared whose it was.
Okay, so we have a new world light heavyweight Thai boxing champion. His name is Ernesto Hoost. He's dripping with sweat, but is he happy?
I am, but I think it's too bad that the fight had to stop at this way, because I wanted to fight, or I wanted to win, or by knockout, or by decision, but not by disqualification. But I'm still very glad that I made it.
Just tell us what happened the first time when you were on the floor. Cikatic appeared to kick you.
Oh yeah. Well, I went on the floor and he said that I made a forbidden technique, but I didn't do anything. Just punched, I fell, and he kicked he kicked on me, you know. And then I started to get angry too, so I kicked him back. It's just normal.
Now you said to me earlier that he's an old guy, you're a young guy coming up. You really feel that the time was right for you? Do you feel?
Yes, I felt that he was getting tired. I felt it in the second round, and I thought now I got him, but still I had to watch out for his punch because even he is tired, he remains very dangerous with his hands.
So this is going to make the rest of the world sit up and take notice of Ernesto Hoost, especially America, yeah?
I hope so, because I hope I proved that I'm a real one of the best of the world now, and I hope that the offers for fights will come now.
Well, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, Ernesto. Now go and get yourself a